My name is Stuart Handy, and I am going to be presenting just about SDAS today. So I'm the team leader within the family safeguarding team predominantly, but I'd like to just be able to touch base on SDAS as a whole, if you like, as well. So we'll sort of move through this. So what is SDAS? Some of you will know us as SDAS, Somerset Drug and Alcohol Service. Others of you will know maybe as Turning Point. So Turning Point is the sort of the company, if you like, that employ us to provide this service within Somerset. And SDAS is the brand, if you like, that Somerset give their drug and alcohol service. Not to be confused with the new other SDAS, which is the Somerset Domestic Abuse Service, which they've cleverly named as well. So yes, this is us. So our teams. So the first one is our core team. So they offer any sort of support and services up to the age, anyone over the age of 18. And we have 3 offices predominantly. So we've got the Oval one, which is Maltravers House next to the court. You then have the Taunton one, which is in Cannon Street, which is next to the probation office in Taunton. And then we have our own satellite office as well. It's a very small office, but it's in street and it's just above Touts Pharmacy. Within our core team, we do have sort of specialist workers, if you like. Okay, so as you can see there, we've got our community engagement workers, which are our outreach workers. So we have a couple on each side of the county. SDAS divide their sort of teams, if you like, east and west. So east would be South Somerset and Mendip, and then west would be sort of Sedgemoor, Taunton, and that area as well. So with regards to our community engagement workers, they can go out and sort of see clients, if you like. They spend their times within the BCHA properties, hospitals as well, just to try and increase that engagement within the local areas to those service users that may not come into our offices. We have a criminal justice team as well, so they are sort of there to support prison releases. So people who are being released from prison, we want to be able to get them, their medication sorted. We want to make sure that they're in a place where they're able to have that support as soon as they are released as well. So we have a team of criminal justice workers who support prison releases, and then once they have been released from prison, they will continue to support those throughout their recovery journey as well. We have a rough sleepers team. This is a relatively new sort of initiative, if you like. And again, they are outreach. They will go out with the sort of the homeless teams as well across the community, such as your rough sleeper nurses as well. And they will go out and try and support them and engage those people and attend drop-in clinics at places like the Gateway and Yeovil and other places. Unfortunately, I don't know a great deal about it because it is still relatively new, but I will find out more information if people do want to know a little bit more about that, and we can get that sorted, not a problem. We then have our harm reduction workers as well. So these are the guys that will offer out our needle exchange, our harm reduction workshops as well. And they'll do various different sort of duties, if you like, and tasks within our office as well, doing drug screens and all of those good stuff. So they're a small team, again relatively new. It used to be with SDAS when I used to work in our core team that we would have our core service sort of recovery workers, but they've all been sort of branched out into their own sort of specialties now, which is quite useful actually. And then we have our mental health drug workers as well. So they kind of work quite closely with dual diagnosis too, where you have those comorbidities of mental health and substance use too. Okay. We then have our young persons and family team. This is divided, if you like, into sort of 3 sub-teams, and the first one being the young persons team. So our young persons team, all of them are outreach workers. They are very rarely office-based because they're out and about trying to engage our young people within Somerset. You may find them in schools, colleges, young people's homes, hospitals, their own homes, anywhere. Where they go, our workers will go. Which is really positive actually and really good. And obviously they'll support anyone under the age of 18, but also up to the age of 25 if they're a care leaver, which is quite positive, I think, in our sort of work. Again, very assertive. That's kind of the role we take essentially, as assertive outreach. As I say, they can be found anywhere, wherever our young people are, our workers will be. And they are Thrive practitioners as well. So they have recently undertaken some training which enables them to sort of provide that more structured, more effective support for our young people as well. And we not only do we support the young people, we also go to Freshers' Fairs. We are trying desperately to get to Glastonbury. I keep nagging my line manager to see if we can get a tent of some sort or a stall within Glastonbury Festival, and we are working on it. We were attending NAS over the last couple of years, which has been really useful. Unfortunately, I think they've actually closed now, unfortunately, as a festival, but we are trying to get to Glastonbury. Like I say, we do lots of school assemblies, educational work as well. So another thing as well that our young persons team will do, not only will they support children and young people with substance use issues, but we will also support children and young people who aren't using but are affected by those who do. So it might be that mum and dad are using, older siblings are using. We can support those people to better understand why maybe they're using, what that looks like, and how they can look after themselves too. Excuse me. The other one we have in our team, the other sub team, if you like, is sort of my team. The one that I lead on is the family safeguarding team. Some of you may have heard of it before. It's essentially replaced children's social care safeguarding teams. It was an initiative that was brought back in October 2020, and essentially what it sees is you have safeguarding social workers coupled with substance misuse workers, domestic abuse workers, and mental health workers all working under one roof now. And the 3 specialists, if you like, will support the adults within the family, giving that time and that space for the social worker to sort of pull their energy onto the child, if you like. As you can imagine, I think prior to sort of family safeguarding, there was the social worker was wearing many hats. One day they'd be a social worker, next day they may be a mental health worker, next day they may be a domestic abuse worker, and then again a substance use worker. So this model, this approach has been really successful in its rollout, I think, and we are hoping that it can expand in the hopefully not too distant future. Again, we're very much out of outreach. We work this similar with our YP team colleagues. We'll go out and about. We'll take our adults that we support for coffee. We'll go to their home if they prefer it. If they want to access our group workshops within our core service, they can. They get the best of both worlds, which is actually really, really useful. And we are all MPACT facilitator trained, but I will sort of touch on that in a few slides time. And then we have our family and carers team. So these guys, there's a team of 4 within Somerset, and they support there was a campaign last year that was called the Forgotten 5 Million. So there's approximately 5 million sort of people within the UK that are being affected by a loved one's substance use. So it might be that a parent is struggling with a child. It might be that a partner is struggling with their other half, and they're not really able to manage it themselves. So our family carers team very much work with them to look after themselves and to support how they can support themselves. It's focused on that family or carer, within the family. It's not our team don't go in and go, let's talk about the person that is affecting you. We say, let's talk about you. Let's see how you can put some things in place, some coping mechanisms and some strategies in place that was going to protect you and help you. So we have those as well. And again, all of our family and carers are 5-step facilitated trained, which is an ADFAM sort of accredited course, if you like. So yeah, it's really useful actually. And they're brilliant. They will work with anybody that comes across, they'll never say no, which is fantastic, really. It was really useful. So what's on offer, I guess, what we do. So we have psychosocial interventions, which have sort of been formulated by sort of psychologists, psychiatrists within Turning Point, and we're trained to deliver those programs. Very much depends on what a person is using, what they're drinking, depends on what maybe we offer, because some of our workshops, if you like, are focused on those who are using, but then also some of them are focused on those who maybe have achieved abstinence as well. So it really depends. And again, we in the family safeguarding team, for example, can offer these on a one-to-one basis, but then also as a group workshop as well. It really just sort of person-centered, client-led, if you like, which is really useful for us. Needle exchange as well. So it is a public health measure. We have a lot of sort of family members and sort of friends and stuff of our service users will sort of ask us, why are you giving these people sort of, needles, syringes, oil, spoons, why are we doing that? And it is a public health measure, because not only do we do that, we'll also give them sharps bins to put their used needles into, so they're not left publicly, in parks and on benches and all those other areas that we may find them, And when they come in to use our needle exchange sort of programs, we don't just give our needles, and syringes and stuff out to these clients and say, see you later. We will very much engage with them, make sure that they are doing it as safely as they possibly can. This is where our harm reduction workers will come into play. And they will have those discussions with our clients that come in to access this service. Again, they don't actually need to be working in our service to access this sort of resource, if you like. They can just come in and say, but obviously we would love for them to be engaging with us, and we will try our utmost to make sure that they are sort of engaging with us. So we do DBS testing as well. So we test for bloodborne viruses, Hep C, Hep B, and HIV as well. And we can offer out a hepatitis B vaccination course within our clinical teams as well. Simple sort of finger prick test that sort of is put on a bit of paper, a bit of card, and we send that off, and we get the results fairly quickly, which is really good. If anyone were to test positive, then we would liaise with the hospital, and then we can start that kind of treatment pathway as well. So our needle exchange hubs, if you like, are in Yeovil and in Taunton. However, there are select pharmacies across Somerset that will also offer the needle exchange program too. I can't remember off the top of my head how many there are, but there are, I think, from what I last heard, there's about 18 pharmacies across Somerset that will do this. The difference is that we will, clients can go in and they will get almost a bit of a doggy bag, if you like, a little bit of a bag sort of made up, pre-made for them, and they will be given that to them. It might not be what they want. It might be different sort of size needles and syringes and stuff, because it does matter to the clients. Whereas our hubs in Yeovil and in Taunton, they can come into our office and they can choose what they feel they need. So there is a bit of a benefit to that, I guess. But that's needle exchange and our sort of psychosocial interventions again. We also offer opiate substitute therapy. So we have a team of sort of non-medical prescribers and doctors as well. And they're able to prescribe supportive medications to aid in a person's recovery. You may have heard of things like methadone and Esprinor as well, or Subutex or buprenorphine. These are the kind of the main ones, if you like, that we prescribe for opiate users. Other medications include acamprosate and naltrexone. So these two are for the support of a client who may be drinking, and they would help to suppress any sort of cravings. Not a magic pill, because it has to be in complements with actual psychosocial interventions as well. And then we also can prescribe diazepam, zopiclone as well. These are sort of detox supportive medications as well. And again, it's our prescribers that do that. We can get our clients appointments and have those discussions. So it is something that's on offer, and it is it's not something that would normally happen. So if a client was to go into a GP surgery and say, oh, I've got this going on, I've got I'm using opiates, I'm misusing them, the GPs would normally refer them to us, because our clinicians are the ones that prescribe this particular medication. As I said about MPACT, so it's the Moving Parents and Children Together program. So there was a hidden harm report back in 2003, and it was basically seen that there was a lot of parental substance misuse within the UK that was impacting children negatively, and it was going quite unnoticed. And so in response to that, in 2006, the Moving Parents and Children Together program was developed. So essentially, all the family safeguarding team and some of the YP workers within our team have been trained in how to deliver this now. It's an accredited course with addiction professionals, and we have to do assignments and all those bits and pieces to get accredited, which was really good actually. And what we do is it's a program, and it's a model that supports. It can support up to 8 families, and again, it just depends on the dynamics of the families on how many we can support. And it's 10 sessions, as it says here, 8 core sessions, a review session and a reunion. We bring everyone together, parents, children, and loved ones of those families, and we'll pull all of our resources together and essentially deliver this program over sort of 10 sessions. That might be 2 a week. We tried that last year. It had its pros and cons. We've tried it earlier only a few weeks ago. Actually, we finished the second one over 10 weeks, and again had its pros and cons, but we're hoping to roll out the next MPACT course in January, end of January, in the east of the county. So we're looking at Yeovil, we're looking at Shepton Mallet and Street as possible venues. It's a strength-based approach, and it supports families to address all the areas that substance misuse can impact as well. It's really, really good. We like it. We like to sort of deliver it in an informal way so that it's comfortable for the families, because we know it can be very nerve-wracking for them to come along. And then towards the end, at a reunion, last sessions, we ordered a Domino's, and we got everyone in, and we just literally had a bit of a time together. 100% sort of success rate at the moment, which is really positive, and we're hoping for that to continue. ADMIT, very briefly on ADMIT, it's been funded by the Violence Reduction Unit. It's been really successful over the last few years, and essentially what it is it's a team of recovery workers that will go into A&E in Yeovil and in Musgrove. Initially started in Musgrove, and it has, with its success, moved across to Yeovil. Every Friday and Saturday night between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. one of us will be in A&E in Musgrove and in Yeovil, supporting the NHS staff there. And we like to try and engage with young people under the age of 25 that are in crisis at that point. We try to read between the lines a little bit. If they've come in with violence-related injuries, is there any drug use there? Is there any alcohol use there? Same with mental health as well. Or is the predominant, is this sort of the primary reason they've come into A&E because of the drug or alcohol misuse? We'll try and support everyone we can and make sure that we can, increase our engagement with those people at that point, because we know that with regards to young people going into A&E, if we miss them, we call them later in the week. They normally pass it off as it was just a bit of a party, or it was just a silly mistake and I don't need the support. But if we're actually at their bedside, talking to them, giving them that harm reduction support, and offering them a service, we do get that uptake on it. And we have done over these last 3 years, and it has been a real success. So yeah, it's brilliant. And we've built relationships with the NHS staff as well. They're absolutely wonderful, but they have a job to do in A&E, and we want to be able to support them after that as well. Again, very brief on this one as well. Detox and rehab. We do offer detox and rehab. SDAS do fund it. There is a process that we have to go through. And we do have a wide range of facilities in the UK that we can access. They don't happen overnight, unfortunately. On average, you're looking to get a person into detox within 1 or 2 months, and then rehab at sort of 2 or 3 months. They are part of a planned intervention. They aren't an emergency. But I just thought I'd include this one in just to sort of say it is possible, but our service users would have to engage with our service to do that, and it is open to young people as well as adults. There you go. There's a couple of examples there of our detox and rehab centres that we do sort of tap into, if you like. Smithfields is our own turning point led one in Manchester, and then there was just a good example of Bossant's Farm in Cornwall, which was an excellent one. Towards the end of their it's young person specific, but towards the end of their rehab, the Bossant's Farm itself get the guys working on the farm as part of it, and it's great, and normally they never want to leave. So it's quite a good one, actually. That's why I like to put that one in there. Peer mentorship program. So we do have volunteer roles within SDAS as well, to sort of support service users within their recovery journey. But we'll also accept sort of volunteers who haven't had a recovery journey as such, and they just want to come in and sort of lend a hand. They support staff with workshops, building those workshops and delivering those workshops, and office-based duties as well. And it essentially gives those people that we've supported a sense of purpose and giving back, essentially. And we also like to think it's a stepping stone into employment. An example of one, I supported a mum 3 years ago who was problematically drinking. She came in, she did the peer support work, and now she's an employed member of our staff as well. And she's now helping other people, which is fantastic. There is a few requirements there. So they have to be abstinent from their illicit use, or have controlled and reduced drinking, for a minimum of 3 months. They can't be a client with us anymore. And then they do attend an 8-week mentorship program as well. And they get DVS checked too. And how to refer. So we've got the 0300 number there. We've got a website. If they're young persons and family, you can also contact one of those names below. Obviously, my name's included in there as well. So by all means, drop us a message, give us a call. If you've got sort of Somerset Council contacts, then I'm on Teams as well, and through that sort of means too. So I'm more than happy for anyone to drop me a Teams message or call me too, given my role within children's social care.